Hi there. It's day 2, and I wanted to say today I'm feeling really quite pumped. I got up this morning and went and had a swim. And usually, if I ever did put a little bit of exercise in while I was drinking, I would just be lazy. Like I would always try and cut it short, or if I met a friend, I'd always say, let's just do half and walk back. But today I went, nah, let's finish off this whole thing. So it's about 750 meters up a beach, and then you do a U-turn and come back the whole way. And it was the first time I've actually pushed my friend a little bit when I catch up for these swims. And usually he's trying to push me, but I'm sluggish because I'm either hungover or just feeling like shit because I've been drinking. But today I pushed him. Now I just want to make a point that it's day 2 for me of day 0, if that makes sense. Zero drinking for the rest of my life. About 3 weeks ago, I finished a 28-day challenge. And I have to say, in my first week of that, it was hell. In fact, the first 2 weeks, I wouldn't have even been able to do this video when I did that 28-day challenge because I just felt so flat and so low and just detoxing, if you like, on that first 2 weeks. So if any of you are listening to this and you're going to quit for the first time, don't expect to be feeling like this on day 2. I finished a 28-day challenge, and then I went and probably had 5 sessions after that, quite spread out actually, over maybe 4 weeks or something, like 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm on day 2 now, and I'm certainly feeling still fragile, still not myself, but definitely way better than what I did on the 28-day challenge. And today I wanted to talk about when alcohol stopped becoming fun. Isn't this ironic, right? Here, sitting down in my office, and you can see in the background over here, there is a wine fridge. And it's crazy, right? This is one of my pride and joys. I was given this for my 40th birthday from my parents, and I was so excited. And I was looking at it this morning going, that wine fridge has 6 racks, 6 bottles of wine per rack. I drink on average 6 bottles of wine a week. So I'm emptying that fridge every 6 weeks. If you pull all those bottles out and lay them out on the floor here and just look at it, right, 36 bottles of wine every 6 weeks. There's 8 standard drinks in each of those bottles. That's close to 50 standard drinks a week going into my body, destroying me, if I'm really honest, slowly killing me, if I'm black and white about it. But that aside, I wanted to just talk about alcohol and when it all started for me. I grew up in a country town in New England, and my parents were big drinkers. And I was brought up as a kid watching them party and watching them have a lot of fun, and always thinking that's going to be me when I'm older. Look how much fun they're having and the celebrations. And it's really interesting, right? Because they'd always have these fantastic parties on weekends, and everyone was having a great time. But the party would close down, and my parents, looking back on it now, were very irritable and frustrated and quite short-tempered and impatient during the weeks. But then on the weekends when they're drinking, they're very, very happy. But anyway, I don't blame my parents by any means at all for my drinking habit. But I certainly did look at them when I was a kid thinking, wow, I want to be like that one day. And I couldn't wait to start drinking. I was 13 when I had my first session. I remember I was with a mate at his place in Guyra on a farm. And we said, let's go camping, and we arranged, let's get pissed. Like, his father was good friends with our parents, and so we pinched a whole lot of his old man's beers, like 10 beers, and they weren't even refrigerated, they were warm, and we went off camping and forced myself to consume like 4 or 5 of these beers. And I have to say that the feeling I got from it was electric. It was incredible. It was a blissful feeling. It was magical, as it was for my friend Lockie at the time. So I'm 13, right? So it blew me away, and I was one of the first guys out of my year to drink, as was Lockie. And I went back to school and told everyone how amazing this is, and this massive all of a sudden association that alcohol equals fun. And of course, I didn't feel hungover the next day. And this went on for years and years. I mean, I was the party animal at school. I was the guy that was sneaking alcohol in. I was the guy that was motivating us to sneak away on weekends. So I was a boarder, but we would go away on weekends and pinch booze from our parents, and I had a blast. And realistically, I from literally year 10, more so than year 9, but from year 10 at school, from a 14, 15-year-old, I was drinking at least once a week. I managed to get alcohol very easily, and I was a big drinker at least once a week, all the way through year 10, year 11 and year 12. And when I went into university, well, I had a year off where I went over to Scotland after school and university. It expanded out to three to four times a week. So, and binge drinking, like smashing myself, but never to the point of being sick. I always had a limit of cutting off and occasionally being sick, but I rarely got sick. I would always just drink enough to get that buzz and just had a ball. And definitely a lot of times when I got memory loss. But back then that was great because it was like, oh, what did we do last night? And reminiscing, and I'll certainly talk more about my drinking days as we went on. And realistically, I mean, alcohol was great fun all the way through uni, and I reckon it's, I got to Sydney. I went from university down to Sydney and had another probably 4 or 5 years of really enjoying it, maybe till about the age of 28. But there's just a turning point from there. For simplicity, let's say it's 30, where it just stopped becoming fun. It started becoming more hassle than what it's worth. In fact, I don't know about you, but I can't really remember too many occasions since the age of 30 that I would say that was just such a blinder. Like it just, the light started coming off and alcohol just started becoming more of a chore than fun. And that's when I started regretting wanting to drink. Like that were the times during my 30s where I would wake up going, I'm never going to drink again. I'd smash myself. Like I'd have big sessions and I'd catch up with friends and we'd have huge D&Ms. And at the time, when you're in it, it's great fun, right? But the day after and the week after, you're suffering. I mean, I'm running a business and I'm forcing myself to drink and then forcing myself to, probably not forcing myself to drink, forcing myself to work and be disciplined and all these things. And it just, I realised, particularly in the last 7 or 8 years, it's not fun. And I know intuitively it's just not fun, but I still do it anyway. And I still do it because I've got this memory of when I was a kid and all of how much fun that I got off it. It's like this, I'm trying to refine that feeling. And don't get me wrong, when I drink, it immediately gets me out of my head into my heart and I can let go and I feel this amazing peace wash over me. It's a big stress reliever for me. There's no question about it. And it brings me back into feeling, the word I would use is normal. And this is where I've realised for the last, not even 8 years, but really since 30, which is 11 years for me, I've been using alcohol to feel normal. Not to even feel great, just to feel bloody normal. But the problem is, you feel normal for 5 or 6 hours or whatever it is, but the day after, it sucks, and we know it does. And then I've got to, you're looking for your next hit just to feel normal again. And this is because the dopamine released in the brain, alcohol releases dopamine, and the brain's craving that dopamine release. And this is where I think that I've just got a little bit addicted to this substance because my brain's lacking dopamine and I'm looking for that dopamine hit to get back to feeling normal. So I know that alcohol is no longer fun. And I know that this can be a major fuel for me to remain on day zero for the rest of my life because as I mentioned, I've got a problem with it. And I'm not going to ever rekindle that feeling that I got when I was a kid. And I know now my parents were influenced by their parents. So again, it's not their fault, but I was sold a bit of a lie. And the lie is that alcohol is fun. And I would look at my parents' lives, and I would say that they have a lot of fun when they're drinking, but I can see that they don't have nearly as much fun as what they could if they weren't drinking. They would have a lot more fun during the drinking sessions if they weren't drinking, and that's like 80% of the time, right? So I know that from here on in, I'm going to know that drinking alcohol is not fun. And the fun, I know that I can refine that spark that I had when I was a kid in between the drinking, because alcohol didn't cause the hangovers, but I still had this spark of energy all the way up till about 28, where I wanted to exercise and play sports and catch up with friends and start businesses and take risks and all these things that I was so passionate and good at. Like, I still had all of that because I didn't really get those major hangovers. I mean, I did, but nothing like what I do now. It wasn't and so this bright spark, this bright light that I had, I know by quitting it forever, I'm going to find that again. I know it's going to take me some time. I'm starting to get it back a little bit now already, and not from even having stopped drinking. It's the spark coming back from the decision to never drink again. That's a major thing that I wanted to say. On making that decision, I can already feel there's like this light that's restarted again. It's like I hit the bottom of the pit, and now this spark started, and I can't wait to see what happens. But I know that I'm going to tap back into what I'm capable of achieving with my life and become that person that I've always wanted to be. So anyway, I want to ask you that question, be honest. When did alcohol stop becoming fun for you? And wouldn't you agree, it's time to let it go? Ponder on that, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.